Hey everybody, we're kicking off the 2021 deer season today. We're a little late planting maybe, but everything I've been reading so far says this is the weekend. So we're looking a little rain tonight.
Chance of rain tonight and tomorrow, then really good chance Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday. So if we can get this in, get the seed in the ground,
yeah,
let the rain do its job.
I think it'll do fine. It's not really it's going to get direct sunlight for maybe 3 or 4 hours while it's over top here in this plot. We've got a couple other plots we'll show you along the way, but it's just, we've got it, this is where both these ridges beside us choke down into this holler, and it's a perfect place to...
And there's nothing else here. There's no other, I mean, there's hay fields scattered, but mainly just big timber, big ridges, hills, and hollers. And
so some of the stuff we're going to talk about today, just a little bit, is we're going to tell you how we started the ground, what we're going to put on the ground, what we're going to plant, and then we're going to talk a little bit about entry, exit, and how to create access points for your deer to come in and out. So I'm ready to get going if you are.
yeah, let's get this stuff going. It'll take a while to fill.
Take you through step by step what we're doing to plant this particular plot. Right now Scott's tilling it. We came in yesterday, bush hogged, did a little bit of tree removal work to get some of the trees out of it and everything, take some of the old logs, stuff like that out. That was yesterday. Today we're tilling it. We don't always try to put them in this fast, but right now we're putting it in this fast. So today we're tilling it. We ran 2 passes on it. We've got a nice 4 to 6 inch powder up on top, so with the rain coming in tonight, it should be perfect. So Scott's tilling it right now. I'm getting ready to come in behind Scott with the 12-12-12 fertilizer mix. Get this one mixed in good. Drag it. Then we'll come in with our seed. I'll try to show you before we plant all that what we've got to plant. We're just going to put a kind of a mixture in, test a few things. We'll come through, we'll use our broadcast seeder to plant it. I planted a lot of food plots with a planter, and I planted a lot of food plots with broadcaster. I can't say that one works better than the other. The planter is probably more of a regular, universal, you know, whatever, consistent plot. The broadcast for where we're at and how far back in we are, it'll work just fine. So we'll broadcast the seed. The last thing I'll do is I'm going to drag a skid over the top of it just to bury that seed. You know, some of the seed needs to be a 1/4 inch under the ground, some of it a 1/2 inch under the ground. You know, I'm not going to get out and try to measure it. I just know I need to get some soil covering it up. The rain should push it where it needs to go, and we should be good to go here in the next week or so. Scott's running the last pass on the tiller, so I'm getting ready to get going. right now, while Scott's tilling back here behind me, I'm just mixing up 12-12-12 Greenskeeper Secret Fertilizer. You can pick up at Rural King, wherever. And then just some pelletized lime. And I'm stirring it up good, so we got good mixture in here. We spread one time and we're good. So it's important to do soil tests on your soil to get pH levels and find out, you know, where you're at, what you need as far as your fertilizer and stuff. We're pretty good right here, so we're throwing our 12-12-12 down, but typically your local ag supply will be able to, you know, if you need to mix more on potash or whatever you need more mixture of, they can actually make you your own mixture right there. So I'm going to let him get done tilling here and get planting and spreading and all the fun stuff. Something that I definitely do, I start early and carry into the late season. I have a bag that I keep all my camera cards in. I keep some zip ties. I keep a little pair of ratcheting loppers from Easy Cut, and I keep batteries. I like the Amazon Basics batteries. We ran a battery test on them here a few years ago, and they really kept up well with the Energizers and Duracells. But I like to have a bag, and yes, it is a man purse, but whenever I take off walking to check my cameras, which I like to walk and check them, sometimes just to get some exercise and whatever, I throw this man bag on and take it to get my stuff done. So I'm gonna get after it. So we got our entry made. One thing I get asked a lot is how do you know where to put cameras? How do you know where your deer are coming in? The simple answer is I don't. But I also can find pinch points, places where something chokes down, always mock scrapes, fresh scrapes, and you're going to be able to key in on that sign. But early season, it is kind of tough to figure out how am I going to know where these deer are coming, what deer are here, all that. Find pinch points like what we just set up right here where this plot is. These deer are pinching off this ridge here right into our plot. So I'm going to set a camera right here, facing right through here. Any deer that crosses off this to come out here, whether they're just crossing to cross and go up the next ridge, or whether they're coming to the food plot, whatever the case, I'm going to pick them up here. And even if we'll create another entry and exit point here on the far side, I'll be able to pick that deer up from here and know that he's coming in and out of there. So another thing that I use early season, as far as like March, April, I even start in January with mineral. Getting those deer coming to a mineral site. A couple keys with that is I don't put a mineral site close to where I'm going to hunt. I try to find a major place where a lot of trails are crossing or something, find a way to put a mineral site in there. And then I won't put any mineral out typically after about August 1st. So they really need that mineral starting really in January, but especially starting in March. So that's another thing that you can set cameras on to get those early velvet deer, is get your mineral out. We use Whitetail XTC. By far, in my opinion, it's the best in the game. But we're going to get a camera hung right here on this plot. And then probably next week bring a cell camera to replace this one so we can kind of watch the plot grow. But for positioning the trail cameras, it's kind of a loose science, and I hope that helps. Something I forgot to do in the past, but I don't get to do anymore, is I like to tie my loose string up, my loose strap up. Otherwise, you get it flapping in front of the camera, taking a million pictures. So that's one extra little thing, extra little tip there. Alright, so we've got our mix of 12-12-12 on and fertilizer. Got it spread, everything's ready to go. We're getting ready to plant. So what we've got here is everything you see in front of you is from real world wildlife products. We're going to plant a mixture of a few different things. This plot will probably be just a little different from the plot that's in the far background behind us. We've kind of got two separate plots here that are separated by a little connecting corridor. Ideally, this would be the kill plot, and the plot out there is going to be more of a major feeding plot. What we've got the whitetail forage oat blend, fall harvest. This bag will do an acre. This is a lot of tonnage for them to feed on. So, you know, if I just planted, say, the Deadly Dozen, which is your turnips, your rape, stuff like that, they can go through and decimate that pretty quick. But with us mixing in this oat blend, there should be plenty of tonnage for these deer so that they can't decimate it on us before we get to that late season. A lot of this is about hunting the deer here, but it's also about giving them a food source in that late winter whenever you start to see your deer not necessarily decline, but they're really struggling to find that protein. That's why we want to push this to them outside of obviously hunting. But the second mixture here, or the part of our mixture, is the harvest salad. And this is a winter oat mix, a little bit of barley, so your cereal grains, as well as the Austrian winter peas. They love those winter peas, and then with those cereal grains mixed in, a lot of tonnage. This is an upland blend. We just kind of threw this in at the last minute, but it has your sorghum, your millet, your sunflowers. This is more of a all game type seed. Turkeys love it, doves love it, deer also love it, you know. And then the sorghum, if we can get it to grow high, the sunflowers high, they feel like there's a little bit of safety and cover. The Deadly Dozen is your turnips, your radishes, your rape, your kale. It's a good mixture of all of their product. So we'll use that. If I was going to plant one thing, it probably would be the Deadly Dozen. But we're going to go ahead and try a good mixture. The last thing is this plot topper. I really like this. If I'm throwing anything down, the plot topper on top of it, I mean, you're talking about radish, turnips, rape seeds, beets, collards, clover, you name it, this has it. So we're going to throw this in on top, you know, probably touch up all three plots with plot topper when we get going on that. So this is the seed that we're using. We're getting ready to start planting, and hopefully we'll have some good plots to show you in a couple months. Final plot that we're tilling and planting for the day. We're up on top of a huge ridge top here. It's a power line that they've got clear cut. And so we've got a nice spot here, bush hog. Scott's run the tiller, and then we'll be planting it. I'll be spreading everything right behind him, planting it like we talked about earlier. But I just want to show you our last location that we had for the day for this property. So it should be pretty productive. Fingers crossed. Well, sadly, we're back here in our plot 3 weeks later. Just to give you an update, week 1 we had really good growth. We had, stuff was getting 6 inches. Really good first week, and the deer have just decimated what we had here. I'm not sure. Some of the stuff that's full sun is actually growing a little better, so it may have something to do with the shade too a little bit. But so week 2 they just decimated what we had here on this end, which we had hoped for this to be the kill end of the plot. The deer are in here, and they're in here quite a bit, but we've got a lot of little growth. I'm just hoping that it'll get there, by the time we get ready for season, but we're really only about 3 weeks from season right now. And I wish I had better news to report, right here. I'll go ahead and we'll show you a couple of the other plots that we planted that look a little better, but this one was the one after the first week, we thought was going to be the best plot of the 3, and it just kind of has, each week that we've checked our cameras since we put this plot in, we've had at least 7,000 or more pictures in it that week. So not really, I mean, the deer are just using it, so it's still good, and we've still got high hopes for it. But we'll go ahead, we'll move on, we'll show you our next plot here, and then we'll show you our final plot to kind of wrap the episode up. So we'll see what happens. So this is our middle plot, the one where it's full sun. As you can see, it's doing a little better, but when we first came out here the first week, this was dead, we thought, and the plot behind it that we just showed you was booming. Well, now this one's starting to come into it, and that one's dying off. So we got chicory, looks good, radishes, yeah, definitely got a lot of, trying to make a buffet for them. There's a lot of the forage oats coming in, so we need it to really come into it, because that's a lot of tonnage for them to be able to feed for late season and winter and whatnot. But this is the second plot we were talking about, and
you don't know what the plot up top looks like. Probably not very good. Last week it wasn't very good. It just burned it.
Well, that's the one we're going to go to next, so we'll see what happens. This is the plot we planted last. Honestly, for the last couple of weeks, we've had no hope for this plot, and this plot looked pretty decent.
Yeah, last week it had just a few green sprouts. We did get quite a bit of rain last week, though.
Yeah.
This was, when we tilled it up, it was just that dusty virgin ground, because it all looked like that. Right. Briars and brush, and I brought the skid loader in with the brush hog and just ground it down to the dirt. Then we tilled and turned it to powder.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good powder up here, but it just we had that feeling that unless we got good rain, it was going to stay too dry. But we had 1 good rain on it so far, maybe 2, and I'm pretty impressed with it, actually.
Yeah, it's coming a lot better than I thought it would.
No more than it did last week. It looks really good this week. So
it's quadrupled since last week.
Looks like the forage oats are doing really well in it. I don't see as many radishes.
The radishes all seem to be at that end.
Yeah, but I'm pretty impressed with this. But I hope this week helped you out. We just kind of showed the plots that we're planting, how we planted them. There's not really an exact science to it. We just kind of turkey ticks.
Turkey ticks, I feel them.
Yeah, I can feel them too. So thanks for watching this week's episode of Heat Seeker Outdoors, and be sure to go to our Facebook page, go to our YouTube channel, and subscribe to it so you can stay up to date with the latest videos.